I'm here because I'm going to give you one last walkthrough in our very special second grade classroom. It's been an amazing classroom this year, and the only sad part about this classroom is that we didn't really get to say goodbye to it. So we're going to take a little second to do that today. We've had so many great memories in this fun classroom. One of the best being that we got to sit wherever we wanted every single day, and we got to sit in really cool chairs and do all kinds of flexible seating all year. And you guys handled that like champions from the very beginning, showing me that you're ready to go to third grade when third grade comes. So we're going to take a little walk through our classroom, and then I'm going to tell you why am I here. So here we go. Our very fun cubbies. We love the cubbies. We've had lots of memories with our cubby buddies. The purple table. The green table. And of course we loved sitting along the wall. Then there was the low table. And then we got new beanbags at the end of the year, which only just a few of you got to sit in them, and it was just like a little bit of a bummer because everyone would have had lots of chances had we stayed in school. But we didn't. So there they are. Maybe next year you come visit me and sit down in one of those beanbags. Of course, there's our reading table, all of our SRC quizzes that we took so many of, and then our fun time on the carpet, which was always some of the best time. But I have a story that I want to read to you today, and I'm going to sit down on the reading table to do it. I'm going to sit down next to the prayer that we said every day, next to our Jesus picture, next to all of the things that remind us of his love. But I'm going to start and end with a very special book. Why am I here today? The story is written by a man named Matthew Kelly, and underneath the title is a little line that says, "A story about becoming the best version of yourself." Now, I know those words are very familiar to you because we talk about it all of the time in this classroom. And I hope it'll be something that as you go into summer and as you start third grade, you'll remember. So here's how the story goes. I hope you can see it as best that you can from where I am. The boy's name was Max. He was just old enough to start thinking about life's big questions. On weekends, Max's grandpa often took him fishing. Max liked being on the lake. It was quiet and peaceful. But most of all, Max loved spending time with his grandpa. I'm pretty sure Max must be in the second grade going into third grade. One Saturday, they arrived at the lake, threw their lines into the water, and waited. They talked for a while about school and baseball, and then Max asked, "Grandpa, can I ask you a question?" "Fire away, kiddo," Grandpa replied. "Why am I here?" Max inquired. "To go fishing," his grandpa said with a big smile. I think I would like Max's grandpa. "No, Grandpa," Max chuckled as he cast his line again. "Seriously, what is life really all about? Why am I here?" Grandpa smiled his all-knowing smile. "What a wonderful question, Max. Many people live their whole life and never ask that question. And yet, it is the most important question." As I turn the page, think about it for you. Why are you here? Max sat listening carefully to what his grandpa was saying. "To help us both understand your question, Max, let me ask you a few questions." "Fire away," Max giggled. "What do you know about birds?" Grandpa asked. "They have wings," Max explained, "and they fly." "Very good, but do they bark?" "No, Grandpa." "Don't be silly. Birds don't bark, dogs bark," Max said. "Excellent. Now tell me, what are birds good at being?" Birds are good at being birds, right?" Max responded, a little unsure of himself. Exactly, Grandpa continued. "A bird doesn't try to be a fish or a lion. It just enjoys being the best bird it can be." "Okay, Max, I have another one for you. What is a fish good at being?" "A fish is good at being a fish," Max explained with much more confidence. Exactly. A fish doesn't try to be a bird or an elephant. It just tries to be the best fish it can be every moment of every day. But what does all this have to do with me, Grandpa? Well, Max, if a fish is good at being a fish and a bird is good at being a bird, then you, Max, are good at being Max. You are not here to be Michael or Hannah or Will. You are here to be you. I guess it would be pretty boring if we were all the same, Grandpa. Who do you know that says that all the time? That's exactly right, Max. And we are happiest when we are being ourselves. Imagine how unhappy a bird would be if it spent its whole life trying to be a fish. It wouldn't matter how hard that bird tried. It would never be good at being a fish. A bird will always fail when it tries to be a fish. Imagine how miserable an elephant would be if it tried to be a giraffe. An elephant will always fail when it tries to be a giraffe. And you and I, Max, we will always fail if we try to be someone other than who we are. Grandpa continued. Now getting back to your question, why are you here? You are here to become the best version of yourself. As they sat fishing quietly, Max thought to himself, I am here to be the best Max I can be. After Max had taken some time to think about this, Grandpa continued, sometimes, Max, we do things that help us become the best versions of ourselves. And sometimes we do things that don't. This week, I want you to pay close attention to the choices you make. Now that we have had this conversation, you'll start to notice moments every day when you have to make a choice. And hopefully you will start making the choices that help you become the best version of yourself. Max, if you're ever confused about whether or not you should do something, just ask yourself, will this help me become the best version of myself? Now, why are you here? Grandpa quizzed Max. To become the best version of myself, he answered with a smile. It made sense to him. Grandpa put another worm on his line and threw it back into the water. At that very moment, Max felt a tug on his line. On Monday morning, when Max was helping his mother pack his lunch, he wanted to fill his lunchbox with candy and potato chips. But he remembered the conversation with Grandpa and wondered to himself, what can I eat that will help me become the best version of myself? Max really wanted the candy and potato chips, but he knew an apple and a sandwich would help to make him the best version of himself. So Max decided to have an apple and a sandwich for lunch. At school, Max's teacher, Miss Lauren, asked the class what they had done over the weekend. Max raised his hand, and when she called on him, he stood up and said, I went fishing with my grandpa, and I learned about why I am here. Why are you here, Max? His teacher asked. To become the best version of myself, Max replied. What a wonderful discovery, Miss Lauren exclaimed as she turned to write. Become the best version of yourself across the top of the chalkboard. After lunch during art class, Jimmy took Max's markers. Miss Lauren asked, Jimmy, are you being the best version of yourself? Jimmy looked at Miss Lauren sheepishly, then turned to Max, gave back his markers, and apologized. After school, Max didn't feel like doing his homework. He really wanted to watch TV. But as he sat down and reached for the remote, he thought to himself, which will help me become the best version of myself? Doing my homework or watching TV? Max decided to do his homework. It was difficult to focus, but when he was finished, he felt good. The next morning, the first thing Miss Lauren did was ask the class, why are you here? Ellie raised her hand and when she was called on said, to become the best version of myself. Miss Lauren asked Jake next and he replied, to become the best version of myself. Then Miss Lauren asked the whole class and they cried out together, to become the best version of myself. Fantastic, Miss Lauren applauded them. Let's make sure to remember that throughout the day. Then she asked the students to give examples of how they were becoming the best version of themselves. Hands shot up all over the classroom. Max's classmates were excited to share about how they were becoming the best versions of themselves. After school on Tuesday, Max went shopping with his mother. He saw a new video game at the store and asked his mother if he could have it. Max's mother looked at it and said, it seems very violent, Max. Remember your conversation with Grandpa? Do you think it will help you become the best version of yourself? Max realized that even though all his friends had the new video game, maybe it wasn't the best choice for him. He really wanted the video game, but he wanted to be the best version of himself even more. You're right, Mommy said, as he put the video game back on the shelf. When they got home, Max's dad was sitting on the couch watching football and eating an enormous bag of potato chips. Is that helping you become the best version of yourself, Dad? Max asked, and giggled as he grabbed his helmet and went outside to ride his bike with his friends. At school on Friday, Max was tired of waiting in line at the drinking fountain and pushed Hannah to get to the front of the line. Miss Lauren saw him do this and asked, "Max, was that the best version of yourself?" "No, Miss Lauren," Max replied. Then turning to Hannah, he helped her pick up her things and said, "I'm sorry for pushing you, Hannah. That was selfish and mean of me. I won't do it again." After school, Max was thirsty. He felt like a cola, but he thought to himself, "Water is better for me. It will help me become the best version of myself." So he drank a big glass of cold water. It was refreshing and filled Max with energy. After dinner, Max cleared the table with his mother and then helped his little sister put her toys away. While he was doing it, he came to a wonderful realization. Whenever I do things that help me become the best version of myself, I feel really good inside. I guess Grandpa was right. I am happiest when I am trying to be the best Max I can be. As Max climbed into bed that night, he made a list in his mind of all the things he had said and done that helped him become the best version of himself. I thanked my mom for making me breakfast, worked hard in school, ate healthy food, tried my best at baseball practice when I felt like being lazy, drank plenty of water, did my chores without being asked, helped my little sister put her toys away. Max felt proud and joyful about his list. Then Max made a list of the things he had said and done that day that didn't help him become the best version of himself. I talked to Jamal in class while Miss Lauren was speaking, pushed Hannah at the water fountain, ate too many cookies, and told a lie to my parents. As he thought about this list, Max felt disappointed in himself. He didn't like feeling this way, so he decided he would try harder the next day. He also decided that from that night on, he would think about his day each night before he went to sleep. Max drifted off to sleep with a smile on his face, thinking, "I'm not perfect, but I'm better today than I was yesterday, and every day in every way, I'm working to become the best version of myself." The end. Second grade, it's been a great 2 years with those of you who got to have 2 years with me. I want you to spend a lot of time this summer thinking about, why am I here? Are you working every day to become the best you? Don't try to be somebody else, just try to be you. I want you to always remember that Mrs. Rhodes loves you no matter what. But more importantly, Jesus loves you. He loves you every minute of every single day. And he is always in your heart helping you to become the best version of yourself. Have an amazing summer. I can't wait to see you in third grade.